Lover control, the 4 masks of relationship manipulation. How to spot and stop the hidden manipulation in relationships. Did you know that 68% of manipulation victims don't realize they are being controlled until they have lost their identity? I was one of them. Today I will relieve the 4 masks of control, so subtle they are often mistaken for love. These patterns emerge from thousands of sessions with couples who seemed perfect on the outside but were crumbling within. Have you ever wondered if there's a quick and easy way to protect yourself from manipulation in relationships? Well, there is. I've spent 26 years researching relationship dynamics and toxic partnerships as a relationship counselor. But wait, before you think this does not apply to me, ask yourself, have you ever apologized without knowing exactly what you did wrong? The invisible dance of control. Research shows that 73% of people miss early manipulation signs. The most shocking part, the more vulnerable you might be. Let's define relationship manipulation. It's influence designed to override someone's natural choices, usually done subtly for personal gain. The people most likely to control you are often those closest to your heart. What you are about to learn isn't taught in relationship books. These patterns emerge from thousands of sessions with couples who seemed perfect on the outside but were crumbling within. The 4 veils. Number 1, the veil of devotion. Ever notice how "I did this for us" can feel both loving and suffocating? Have you ever felt love's warmth turn into visible chains, like a beautiful rose whose thorns grow longer with each passing day? 76% of people in controlling relationships report their partner's acts of love became their primary method of control. Picture a golden bird cage. Each bar is crafted from "I did this for you," polished with "after all I have sacrificed," and locked with "if you really loved me." When devotion becomes a weapon, every gift comes with invisible strings. Each sacrifice demands repayment. Love feels like a debt you can never repay. Love lifts you higher. Control pulls you down. Love sets you free. Control wears a crown. Session examples. One Silicon Valley power couple, he gave up a major tech position for their relationships. Now, every time she considers a career move, he reminds her of his sacrifice. "I gave up Google for us." And you can't even skip one conference. Number 2, LA entertainment duo. He handles all their investments to protect their future. Every personal purchase requires explaining why his devotion doesn't deserve better financial respect. These experiences illustrate how love's warmth can slowly transform into controlling heat that burns rather than nurtures. This connects to traumatic bonding, where acts of care create deeper dependency, making it harder to recognize control. Like honey that slowly hardens into amber, trapping you into sweet prison. Devotion lets, never limits. Devotion gives, never grabs. Devotion frees, never freezes. Real love empowers growth. It doesn't require eternal gratitude for basic respect and support. You know, your relationship might be too devoted when your partner's sacrifice story has more returns than friends. The longer these patterns continue, the harder they become to untangle. Each act of love can weave a tighter web of control. Drop a heart emoji if you have ever felt the weight of someone's sacrifice being used against you. Does their love feel like freedom or a fortress? When was the last time you made a choice without considering their sacrifices? Do their acts of devotion elevate or obligate you? True love grows gardens. False love builds walls. True love opens doors. False love installs tools, but isn't sacrifice necessary for love? Here's why that thinking might be your biggest relationship trap. Just when you think you are mastered spotting devotion's mask, there's another veil waiting to be lifted, the veil of uncertainty, where even the ground beneath your feet starts to shift. So the number 2 is the veil of uncertainty. Think of the last time your partner said, "I'm not sure about us." Did your words stop spinning? Ever feel like you are auditioning for a role you already got? Welcome to the uncertainty game. Research reveals 81% of manipulated partners spend 3+ hours daily worrying about their relationship status. That's a 45 full days a year living in doubt. Imagine building a sandcastle while the tide is coming in. Each wave of doubt erases your sense of security, forcing you to rebuild again and again. When uncertainty becomes control, today's forever becomes tomorrow maybe. Trust feels like a temporary lease. Security becomes a reward for good behavior. Remember this: certain in storm, certain in calm, certain in chaos, certain in balm. I'll give you session examples. Number 1, tech industry couple. She's certain about everything except them. Every time he succeeds independently, she needs space to think about our future. His promotion celebration turned into a week of relationship evaluation. Number 2, New York finance duo. He keeps their relationship status fluid. We are great today, but let's see how tomorrow goes. She stops sharing good news, fearing it might destabilize their connection. Number 3, Boston medical power couple. Their 7-year relationship exists in 2-week approval periods. Let's see how these next few weeks go became their relationship mantra. Even while planning their wedding, links to intermittent reinforcement, where unpredictable patterns of security and uncertainty create the strongest emotional bonds, like a compass that points in a different direction each morning, leaving you lost in familiar places. Uncertainty whispers, certainty speaks. Uncertainty wavers, certainty peaks. Uncertainty drains, certainty keeps. If your relationship status changes more often than your Netflix recommendations, we might have a problem. Each day spent in manufactured uncertainty rewires your brain to accept instability as normal. Type steady in the comments if you're ready to stop riding the uncertainty roller coaster. How many times this week did you question your relationship stability? When was the last time you felt completely secure? What would you do differently if you weren't afraid of their uncertainty? But doesn't some uncertainty keep the romance alive? Let's explore why that's the biggest myth in the modern relationships. Think uncertainty is confusing. Wait until you see how the next veil twists reality itself, the veil of perfection, where even your best is never quite enough. So number 3 is the veil of perfection. Ever wonder why criticism hurt more from someone who claims to love you the most? Did you know that even a diamond has imperfections? Yet, somehow your partner expects you to be flawless. 83% of manipulation victims report their self-confidence was shattered through what their partners called helpful suggestions. Imagine a butterfly being told its wings aren't symmetrical enough to fly. That's what perfectionist manipulation feels like, being grounded by impossible standards. When love becomes an endless performance review where every choice needs their approval, every achievement gets a but, every effort falls just short of good enough. Remember this: perfect isn't peaceful. Perfect isn't pure. Perfect is a prison that love shouldn't endure. Let me share 3 stories that might sound familiar. A power couple in Manhattan. She's a successful executive. He's a renowned surgeon. I just want you to be your best, he would say, critiquing everything from her presentation style to her dinner choices. One day she realized she had not made a single decision without mentally rehearsing his criticism. Number 2, a Hollywood couple. He's an up and coming director. She's a former model. You could look so much better if became her daily soundtrack. Her wardrobe, her walk, her laugh, everything needed improvement. She stopped laughing altogether. Number 3, a tech entrepreneur couple. Both brilliant innovators, but one partner's constructive feedback turned their home into a performance zone. I'm just helping you grow. Masked constant criticism that eroded years of confidence. These stories share a common thread. Love twisted into an endless assessment, like dancing on a stage where the spotlight never dims and the audience never applauds. Think of it like a bonsai tree. While some shaping helps growth, much pruning kills the natural beauty. Your relationship shouldn't feel like you're constantly being trimmed into someone else's ideal. Perfect demands, love expands. Perfect corrects, love connects. Perfect controls, love unfolds. Here's a little truth bomb. What's the difference between a perfectionist partner and a GPS? At least the GPS stops talking once you have reached your destination. Warning: if you are constantly hearing, "I'm only saying this because I care," followed by criticism, your relationship might be under the veil of perfection. When was the last time you felt truly celebrated, not just evaluated? Does your partner's help make you feel bigger or smaller? Are you walking on eggshells or dancing on sunshine? But isn't wanting your partner to improve a sign of love? Here's the shocking truth about why that's manipulation in disguise. Speaking of disguises, wait until you hear about the next veil. It's the most dangerous one of all because it wears the mask of protection. So the number 4, the veil of protection. What if the walls meant to protect you are actually your prison? Ever noticed how the walls that protect you seem to grow taller each day? Let's talk about love's favorite fortress. Research bombshell: 87% of financial control begins as protecting our future. Even scarier, 91% of victims initially felt grateful for the protection. Think of a beautiful greenhouse. It keeps you safe, warm, protected, but you can't grow beyond its glass ceiling. When protection becomes prison, safety feels like surveillance, support looks like supervision, shelter becomes solitary. Remember this: protect my heart, not my choices. Protect my peace, not my voice. Protect our love, not my life. Session examples. Number 1, Silicon Valley royalty. He manages their investments to protect their future. She, a former CFO, now needs permission to buy coffee. It's just safer if I handle everything. Number 2, Dallas business elite. She screens his friends to protect their reputation. His social circle shrunk from hundreds to 3 pre-approved contacts. I just want what's best for us. Number 3, Seattle tech pioneers. They protect each other's schedules. Every minute gets monitored. Every outing needs approval. Safety first became isolation always. Related to coercive control, where protection becomes the perfect disguise for isolation and dependency. Like a shield that's slowly becoming a wall, protecting you from life itself. Protection guides, never glides. Protection shields, never wheels. Protection guards, never bars. If your relationship security system has more protocols than the Pentagon, you might be overprotected. The walls of protection grow higher with each passing day until one day you can't see over them anymore. Drop an emoji if you have ever felt suffocated by someone's protection. When did protection start feeling like possession? What risk would you take if you weren't being protected? How much of your world has shrunk under the guard of protection? True protection empowers flight. False protections clips your wings. True protection lights the way. False protection dims your dreams. But isn't protecting your partner the ultimate act of love? Here's why that thinking might be the most dangerous trap of all. Remember, real love protects your ability to grow, not your obligation to stay small. Now that all four veils have been lifted, you might be wondering, how do I protect myself? How do I maintain boundaries without losing love? In part 2, I will reveal the crystal method, a powerful system that lets you be both strong and loving, both protected and free. Plus, I'll share the exact steps my clients use to break free from manipulation while maintaining healthy boundaries. Drop an emoji if you have recognized any of these patterns and hit subscribe to catch part 2, the crystal method, your shield against manipulation. Remember, recognition is the first step to reclaiming your power. See you in part 2, where you learn exactly how to do that.